Welcome to the Rebuilt Man podcast. I am your host and founder, Coach Frank Rich, and bringing back another Q&A episode here today. I'm joined by my brother, our head coach inside the Rebuilt Man community, Coach Arnold. And if you're new to the podcast, these episodes are where we take your questions. So these are direct questions from the listeners, the audience, men inside of our community that are struggling, that are caught up in the depths of pornography addiction, but are on the same journey that you're on today, trying to unlock freedom, trying to rebuild a new identity, trying to step into life that God is calling them to live. So we're going to dive in here today. If you're new to the podcast, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to turn those post notifications on. And if you have a question that you want to get answered direct and live on an upcoming episode of the Rebuild Man podcast, you could drop those down in the comment section below or email those questions to frank@rebuildsrecovery.com. But Coach Arnold, my brother, welcome back.
Glad to be back as always. I got some good questions for us.
Yeah, man, it's been a couple of weeks. We're on a little bit of a gap here, I think, in our recording due to some scheduling conflicts, but excited to be back on here, man. We always bring it down, always bring the value to the guys. So you got the questions, we got the answers. Let's make something happen here.
All right, let's dive right in. So here's one that we can both relate to, I feel like. Is it too late for me? I've been using porn for 20 plus years. I'm in my 40s, 50s, been using porn since I was a kid. Is there any realistic hope my brain, sex life, and relationships can truly heal at this point? Well, like I said, this is a question for both of us because,
Yeah, you're in your 40s. I truthfully didn't really start addressing this aggressively till my late 30s, 35, 36 years old, when I really started to put in the effort. And it's been, 7 years. I'm 42 now. So I was about 30, 35 and a half, I think, at the time. Here's what I'll tell you, man. Like, if you're that stage of life, like, I would say you're actually in a better position to change. Just pure experience of being in the trenches with men, guys in their early 20s, for whatever reason, in my experience, and we were just having a conversation offline about some young guys actively in our program right now, how we're seeing some hope in them. But this isn't to talk negatively about the younger men, but sometimes they don't have the weight and pressure that life brings to them to really have that intrinsic drive and motivation that some things got to change. Think about it. Like when you're in your mid to late 30s, 40s, even 50s in life, like you got a lot that you're responsible for, and there's a lot on the line for you. And when you really start aggressively attacking this thing, there's a potential risk of losing some of this. And it doesn't always work out perfectly. I understand that some guys never get back what they had before, but I think for one, you have more on the line. So there's going to be more deeper intrinsic motivation to drive you towards getting control of this. But you also have a lot more experience, man. You have a lot of wisdom. Whether or not you see it yet, there's a lot of wisdom, real life experience and wisdom resting inside of you. So absolutely. I was wrestled with pornography addiction for over 20 years. And here I stand 7 years plus free. And I know the same is for you. The incredible part about the human body, the brain, and everything is it is very adaptive and the term scientifically would be plastic. But all that means is the ability to change. Like we are constantly changing and evolving. And I would say if you're not growing, you're going to be dying. So no, you're not too late. You're not too old. You're in a prime position. We've had guys 80, 70s, and dozens in their 60s that finally got free. So I can speak anecdotally from men that I've worked with. I can share my experience of being 20 plus years caught up in the depths of it. And we know scientifically that you are never too late to change. You're never too late to change spiritually. You're never too late to change physically. You're never too late to change biologically. Yeah. Are there still going to be some things that have to be worked through? And maybe there's deeper ingrained patterns, perhaps. But I would also say if you're this old, you probably weren't conditioned to the internet as young as a guy that is in his 20s. So I would actually say many times it's harder for a man that's in his 20s because he grew up with technology, right? So through very developmental years of his psyche, of his neurochemistry. Like he was wrapped up in the internet. Like if you're in your 40s, 50s, you didn't have access to the streaming internet until you were a fully functioning, developed human being and adult, right? So your brain didn't develop itself through technology. So I would actually say that's a bonus for you in this journey and in this fight. So absolutely, man, I'll kick it to you because I know you're going to have a lot to share here because this was your experience and is your journey that you're still on. But no, for all the reasons I just explained, like, brother, you got this, man. And like, let's get it going now. Just because you got it, like, doesn't mean you got it yet. Now is the time to really take some action.
Yeah. So, like, is there any realistic hope for my brain sex life and relationship can truly heal at this point? Yes. Next question. Yeah. Yeah, it truly can, because this is not an age thing. This is an awareness thing. Whenever you become aware of it, that's when you can do something about it. And the reason why it's harder for younger people is because, one, like you said, Frank, they grew up already with high-speed internet versus we had to mess around with VHS tapes, magazines, and stuff before we got to the fast online high-speed internet. But we have young guys in our group right now that, because of us, what we do, are able to have that awareness. And like you said, people who made it this far, they have a lot of life experience, and they have what I would really credit this for is maturity. So that doesn't necessarily come with time, because there are a lot of people that are older and not mature, but then there are younger people who are. But maturity has a lot to do with growth. Like you're growing. You realize that you're in a time of, it's time to grow up, basically. Whenever that happens for you, whatever age that may be, that's when you start to have awareness, growth. And Carl Jung said this, who was, the father of so many things, but including the whole subconscious talk and the shadow work. And he's the one who coined synchronicity, right? He said that we don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them, because we add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems. So again, that comes with maturity. So as you mature, you become more knowledgeable, and you get to solve these problems by outgrowing them because you grow up. And that allows you to have these realizations like, oh, look what I'm doing. Now I can stop. But until then, you can't. And we talked about this a lot, as well as we're solution focused here, not problem focused. If you focus on the solution, that will grow. Focus on the freedom, you'll get more freedom. Focus on the problem, you get more of a problem. And that's why, this ties into, as you grow, you focus on growth. And that's why you outgrow the problem. And Vivekananda, who was a Hindu monk, philosopher, author, and, religious teacher back in the late 1800s, has this beautiful saying that I always tell the guys in the group too, because it's, especially right now, it's spring. Well, it's supposed to be. The weather wasn't crazy, but according to the calendar, it's spring. So he would say this beautiful thing, saying, in springtime, go out and observe the blossoms on the fruit trees. The blossom vanishes of itself as the fruit grows. So will your lower self vanish as the divine grows within you. Again, you grow the parts you want to see grow. And as that happens, the lower self falls off. The porn goes away as you grow so again, this age thing is irrelevant in a sense, because it's more of an awareness thing. That's why we have guys that are older that are struggling, and we have guys that are younger that are realizing. The one thing that they have in common is the awareness. Some people reach it young, some people reach it later, but it's not an age thing. Again, it's whenever you are ready to listen. The teachers are always there. I believe freedom is at an arm's length. The sun is always shining. Because we have that expression, right? Like, once you remove the clouds, the sun will shine. The sun always shines. The cloud is just covering them up. So whenever we are ready, growth is right there. And as somebody who done this myself, I realize now, looking backwards, connecting the dots, looking backwards, that freedom was always there. I just ignored it. I was too stuck up in my own head, trapped in my own head to see it. And healing happens when you awaken to this realization that, hey, I can flip the switch whenever I make the decision to just be done with it. And like we talked about this offline too earlier, that well, how do you stop this, right? Well, you just stop, because once you get to that realization, it's that's where it comes down to. But we made it such a big thing. And I think it was Johnny Carson, when Wayne Dyer was on Johnny Carson, and he asked him, how do I quit smoking? Johnny Carson asked him, and Wayne Dyer said, well, you just stop putting cigarettes in your mouth. Because ultimately that's what it is. But if you tell somebody who struggles, they're going to be like, well, that's very insensitive. But ultimately they will come to the same realization once they get that level of awareness that, oh, I'm just going to stop. And that's exactly what happens. That's the day you remember as the day when you were done. When you finally realized what you were doing, you made the decision and it was done. It was done.
Yeah. So this individual, you know, we've shared a lot. I mean, we've answered the question for 10 minutes here. No, you're not too old. Yes, there's hope. There's freedom resting on the other side of you. It's going to take awareness. I think asking this question shows that you're moving in the direction of getting aware. Now the ball is in your court, right? Because ultimately at the end of the day, like, it's going to be a choice and decision that you make. Once I accept and believe that freedom is possible, am I willing to do whatever it takes? Am I willing to become the man that can no longer put the cigarette in his mouth? Or am I willing to become the man that can no longer go to the screen anymore for whatever the reasons are that you've been going to the screen? It's an awareness, it's a choice, it's a decision, and then it's putting in the work to become the man. And if that's where you're at right now after you ask this question, I want to extend an invitation here to you as we wrap this up to join us. You know, we had the experience, worked with guys in their 80s, 70s, dozens within their 60s. We have the frameworks, we have the tools in place, we have the community, we have the expert level coaching to guide you through this process, to help you see the blind spots in this journey. So if you have the awareness because you're asking the question, if you're ready to make a choice, make the decision, commit to doing the things that are necessary to become that man, click the link there below. Join us for free for a 7-day reset. You can test the waters here. There's no obligation. There's no commitment to join, but start taking some action in the first 7 days. Start to rebuild that identity. Start to rewire those habits. And if you decide to stay with us, we'd love to have you for an ongoing, continue 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever you decide. But starts with 7 days. That's all it takes, at least, to begin to see if this is the right place for you. So if you click down there in the show notes below, or visit the www.therebuiltman.com/7-day reset, you get all the tools, the resources, the community, the coaching for free for 7 days to help you reclaim back your identity, rebuild your life, rewire your brain, accept a life of absolute freedom. But you're never too old. Once you have that awareness and you're willing to put in the work, freedom is possible. So we love you guys. Like I said, if you got questions that you want to ask and get answered in an upcoming episode, drop those down there in the comment section below here on YouTube, or email those questions to frank@rebuiltrecovery.com, and myself and Coach Arnold will make sure to put them in the catalog and get them answered in an upcoming episode. But as always, guys, we appreciate you hanging out. Make sure to rate, subscribe, review this, share this with as many people. And Coach Arnold, I always appreciate you for your wisdom, your knowledge, your expertise, and your unlimited catalog of quotes that you always bring to the episode.
I love my quotes, yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Guys, we love you. We'll see you in the next one.